Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Lydia Murray and I am board president at LPCS. I am joining you from breakfast this morning from our location at 600 West Fullerton. It's interim housing facility. We are having some pancakes this morning and some sausage, and many of you are very familiar with this kitchen, as am I. It's part of why I got involved in LPCS, was making meals and forming community with folks here at Lincoln Park Community Services. So we're excited to have you tonight. I want to thank our restaurants and our party package partners who have helped put together some great food for you to try to bring a little bit of taste of fall to your home. I also want to thank our party captains who are having socially distant gatherings, probably in your backyard, to also try to get that taste of fall spirit. You're going to hear some amazing stories tonight about our volunteers, and particularly how we break bread together and serve meals together. And it's going to be an amazing night. And you're going to also learn how you can get more involved and volunteer. Now I'm going to pass it off to Paul, who is going to talk to you about how to make your signature cocktail drink for tonight. That's also very important. And I want everyone to enjoy this evening, and I'm so glad you're with us.
Thank you for joining us at Lincoln Park Community Service Taste of Fall. At this moment, I'm going to make our signature drink, which is cran gin spritz. We will bake it with 3.5 ounces of club soda, 2 ounces of the Cobalt cran gin. You stir it. Then you can put whatever citrus fruit you like. The orange is my preference. You wedge it here on the side. You can do it right here like this. Twist it, put it in the drink, and top it off with a sparkling dry wine. And just like every drink, you need a pair. Here's another one. Cheers. Thank you for your support. Lincoln Park Community Service.
Thank you, Paul. Let's put those amazing signature cocktails to good use and raise a toast. We certainly have a lot to celebrate tonight. For one thing, 0 LPCS guests have tested positive since the COVID pandemic began. It is truly a blessing at a time when many other shelter providers have been experiencing positivity rates as high as 40 and 60%. Of course, we're also celebrating that so many of you are returning to volunteering here at LPCS. In September alone, 59 of you came back on site to help our guests reach their housing goals. It's truly great to see all of you. And of course, nothing's a bigger celebration around here than when a guest graduates. In 2020, 54 of our guests have graduated to permanent housing. Quite an accomplishment for an organization that began with just 3 beds in a church basement. Tonight is about celebrating all that you have done to help your neighbors experiencing homelessness. But it's also an opportunity to focus our energy on the many needs that remain. Tonight's theme is around one of the biggest, food security. When you speak to our guests and you hear their stories, you quickly realize that homelessness is not just about housing. It's about employment, it's about equitable access to mental health treatment, it's about domestic violence, it's about substance abuse, and hundreds of other individualized circumstances. That's why at LPCS we're committed to being more than just a bed. We want to wrap our services around the individual needs of each of our guests, removing whatever obstacles stand between them and their housing goals. I was struck by a recent survey of Chicago shelter residents, not just at LPCS, but at shelters across the city. In the survey, 30% of respondents reported that they didn't even have the time to search for a job that paid a living wage because they were too busy just getting by on gig work and panhandling. 30%. These are individuals who have succeeded in becoming sheltered, but still have a limited pathway towards housing. It doesn't have to be that way. At LPCS, we aim to provide each of our guests with the peace of mind that comes with 3 nutritious and delicious meals every day. Meals that meet your health needs and reflect your dietary restrictions. These meals create the space to recover from the trauma of becoming homeless, to focus on more than just getting by. These meals are an incredibly important part of what makes our interim housing program so special. There's no ticking time clock here, counting down the days until your life is upended again and you become homeless. As long as you're making progress towards your goals, you will always have a home here at LPCS. We never want our guests to choose between food and housing. But the reality is we need events like tonight's to fulfill those promises. As you hear tonight's stories, I hope that you'll give generously in whatever way you can. Every dollar you give, every volunteer shift you fill, is more money that we can put towards security deposits, rent, and all the things that make housing happen. Even if all you can give us tonight is your time, please know that you're making a difference for our guests. So often overlooked in our communities, it means a tremendous amount to them that more than 300 people have tuned in tonight to check in on them and to hear their stories. Thank you for everything that you do to support LPCS. We could not do this work without you. Please join me in raising one final toast to you for tuning in tonight and telling our guests that what happens to them matters to you. It really means so much.
The first time that I went to LPS, we were sleeping on mats. At the time, the people in Lincoln Park said, okay, these guys are out here on the streets, so let's just get them overnight programs. It was when I came to Lincoln Park Community Services over here. I don't say shelter. The reason why I say services, because a shelter is just overnight. But when you have services, services have a lot of things to offer you. When a lot of people ask me what was my experience like, I was like, it's like a roller coaster every day. You're going up and down, up and down. Some days you stay up, some days you stay down quite a few, but know this, you can bounce back. So my case manager, she did say one thing. She said, ain't you tired of beating yourself up? So we're gonna get you some help if you don't mind. Now the thing it is, it's not a game, it's not a trick. She said, it's up to you what you want to do with this. You want to go take it easy, or you want to take it at your own pace, or do you want to get better at it? And I wanted to get better at it. They encourage you to do what you got to do whenever you're ready to do it, but if it's something that's bothering you, they're encouraging you to do what you got to do so you can get better one day at a time. Personally, here at Lincoln Park Community Services, we would like to thank you, all the guests here. Thank you for coming out. At times it be so rough on us, but when y'all come out, spend time with us, sit down and talk with us, that means so much to us. Thank you for opening up to us. And thank you for really working. And we pray that you all stay safe. And if it's anything we can do for you here at Lincoln Park Community Services, we love you, we give you hugs and kisses, and we thank you.
This gratitude extended by Tyrone is a deep gratitude. LPCS has grown to be so much more than a shelter. It's grown to be a space providing comprehensive services for our neighbors experiencing homelessness. This growth from shelter to service has happened because of you. One of those services you have helped us grow is addressing food insecurity. According to Feeding America, 1 in 7 people in Cook County will experience food insecurity this year. This was before the COVID-19 pandemic. Among people experiencing homelessness, this number gets closer to 1 in 1. Oftentimes, individuals experiencing food insecurity have to make the choice between using their last resources to pay for either food or housing.
To me, food security means it's not something that I have to think about in my everyday. We all have those items in the back of our head that just sit there as we go about our day, and we go to work, we have our tasks, we have our families that we have to tend to, and there's always those items that just sit in the back of our head, like, oh, what about this, or oh, I have to do this. To me, food security means that wondering about my next meal is not one of those things I'm thinking about. LPCS addresses this because we offer those 3 meals a day, no questions asked, to our guests who reside here. They can go about their day, they can do the things they need to do to find a job, to work on whatever skills they need to work on, to get the help they need in whatever mode they need without wondering when are they going to get that meal. So we address that by helping them be able to do the things they need to do without wondering about their meals.
It's to give back the guests a home-cooked meal feel. A lot of the guests, based upon the demographic they've been at or they've been living on the street, some of them do not get home-cooked meals. Some of them as well haven't eaten for days or just can't get food at all. So us being able to give them a home-cooked meal warms up the heart, you know. And that's one of the best feelings, is to see them actually eat the food, and you get food, good cooked food. You know, you hear from other guests that have come from other shelters that they either don't eat good food or they eat sandwiches and they don't get cooked meals on the daily. So to be able to provide that for them is makes all staff happy, especially myself, knowing that I come from a cooking background, so I can also work around in this beautiful kitchen that's a dream kitchen. So it goes hand in hand.
Food insecurity has heightened as a result of COVID-19. However, the LPCS community has worked creatively and collaboratively to ensure that our guests continue to receive the comforts of meals prepared with care, relieving one piece of the extra stress brought on by this pandemic.
As you can imagine, things are drastically different now. At the beginning of shelter in place, we had to halt all on-site volunteer activities. So then we really had to pivot and figure out how can we still provide the things to our guests that are volunteer-led without having our volunteers in the building. We pivoted to this model of meal drop-offs. So volunteers were still cooking at home, or they were also ordering a restaurant delivery meal to also help the local restaurants during the COVID times. We also turned to virtual classes, which Zoom became the mode in which all of our classes were taking place. And so our guests were still able to complete financial literacy courses. They were able to get resume coaching and interview skill coaching with their volunteers.
There's a huge element when it comes to meals of kind of like camaraderie and just having a good environment. The meal is kind of like one of the first things you do in the day and the last thing you do at night. So when the guests who are already often, you know, people who are disenfranchised or have a lot of their needs neglected, when they see that people are actually putting in effort and time and like care into their meals, I think that it really changes the dynamic and the environment, especially between staff and guests. And honestly, for street-based, it could be even more crucial just because of the scarcity of food and resources and knowledge of resources. I think it's hugely important for people to keep going and just know that they're cared for on that level.
The community itself, partaking together, people getting to know each other, guests, you know, sharing stories with each other about the experiences, about the ups and downs and the triumphs and also some of the defeats, but they uplift each other here as well. And during mealtime, you can share those stories. And also we have success stories here where some of the guests who graduate, they share it at mealtime as well. They ring a bell and it shows the success of you staying on track with the program and being committed to what LPCS offers as an organization. And we work with you, you could progress and graduate, and that's the best outcome.
For the last 35 years, our guests have been positively impacted by the volunteers so invested in our mission. One of the ways our volunteers are most intimately involved is through our meal program. Many individuals come together with their closest friends and family and build community through the service of others. Some of them have been doing this for more than a decade and continue to give through the pandemic. These are some of their reflections.
There's no better way to start a day than giving and seeing people happy with what they have received from you and working as a team to make that happen.
So interesting to come and to see new faces and to hear their stories and knowing what they're going to be doing for the day and where they hope to be next. And I love that part of it.
I've been serving food to people since I was 17 years old. I've made a living of serving food to people. But when you're serving the guests of the LPCS and you're sitting down and you're talking with them, my heart swells like it's never swelled before in all the food that I've served in my years.
At times when there have been guests who've been here for a long time, they have always been very glad to see us. They come in, they say hello, they ask how they can help, and that's always wonderful. When there are guests who are, new to us, you just see when you're in the room eating with them how they warm up to you. How they're happy that They are not only getting a warm meal that was prepared by people who care, but also that we're interacting with them on a one-to-one level. We're sitting down with them, eating the same food with them. And I think that there's a very positive aspect in that socialization, not only for the guest, but also for the volunteer.
The guests are always so thankful, and they'll always say, thank you. And I always turn and say, thank you. And I had someone say, well, why are you thanking us? I'm like, you have no idea what it does for us.
Most of us in our group really tie cooking with nourishing others. Certainly I do. It's been a passion of mine for years and years. And I've always associated with good times around the table.
Who won't be first?
And nourishing. And I think that that ultimately drives sort of the magic of the meal times. It's people being nourished by others that take the time to care, take the time to really make nice meals, and then sit down and talk. I often will go out after we do our plating and just sit and talk with people, ask them how they like the food. Was there something unusual about it? Because I'm always trying to find different cuisines, different meats, whatever, to kind of challenge the taste of our guests.
And we've been doing this now since the middle of 2009, and we have done the math and we figured out that it is over 11,000 meals that have been served just as a result of that meeting that I had with Aaron Ryan back in early 2009.
I had a longtime friend. First met when we were 21 years of age. We started working together at the age of 28. He was my boss. He was a chef. I was a sous chef. We became roommates. We were roommates for 12 years, and we worked at different places together. And then after a period of time, he got down on his luck. I mean, just decisions did not go his way. And he found himself in a declining situation to the point of homelessness. One day I said, Mike, I think you need to look at the LPCS. He called up, went through the process. I checked him in on a Wednesday, and I served him breakfast on Thursday. And it was such a humbling experience for me that we worked together for so many years. Life is fragile, and all he needed was just some support from the people at LPCS, and he said these meals made a difference in his life.
I've been around other places. I would never say anything bad about them because they're all working their butts off. But the professionalism of LPCS, sincere way they understand their mission and make it the focal point of what they do, certainly brought them from 600 Fullerton to this wonderful, wonderful building. I guess that's what I would say. If you're a donor, you're not wasting your money. If you're giving your time, you will come out of here more enriched than when you came in.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video and that gave you a deeper understanding of how our meal program creates community and the important role that volunteers play. Speaking of volunteers, we have a very special guest tonight. Janet Matthews is one of our most dedicated volunteers. She's also a graduate of the housing program at Fullerton. She started volunteering just weeks after she graduated.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah. My colleague, Mary Johnson, who's our Chief Development and Strategy Officer, and I are so grateful to have the opportunity to share more about Janet's LPCS story tonight. So Janet, welcome. I know you enjoyed many delicious meals while you were at LPCS. Do you have any favorites?
Yes, I remember the salmon. I don't know who volunteered, which volunteer brought it, but it was sure good.
Yeah, and I hear there was a lobster mac and cheese.
Yes, there was. I don't remember who made that either. All I remember how good it tasted.
It sounds delicious.
Yeah, the volunteers really come in with some amazing stuff, as you heard from our folks tonight. So Janet, you've been volunteering for a long time. Before that, you were a guest and graduated. You graduated 5 years ago. How was that? In June. Okay, congratulations, first of all. And what do you remember about that process?
that it was beyond words. I still have no words to describe it.
And you moved into an apartment in Uptown 5 years ago, correct? And how long have you been there?
I've been there since I graduated.
Wow, that's awesome.
Amazing.
And Jen, I've heard that over the last 5 years you've volunteered more than 4,000 hours.
Well, that's what they
Congratulations.
keep telling me. I don't.
That's amazing. What's your favorite thing about volunteering at LPCS?
I do the desk every Sunday and Wednesday.
And why do you keep coming back to LPCS?
It's good for my mental health.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And we just want you to know you're so beloved here. You've got lots of fans. So
Yes,
thank you.
that's what they keep telling me. but it's hard to take it seriously sometimes.
It's serious.
100%. Thank you so much, Janet. Now that we're feeling inspired to the max, let's move to our paddle race, okay?
Welcome.
Naressa.
Thank you, Janet.
Thank you, Janet.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to be joined for this part of the program by Naressa Billingsley, our Independent Community Living Program Manager. Welcome, Naressa.
Hi. Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much, Andy, and thank you all so much for joining us. It's so good to see others fired up about our mission like we are. If you're watching right now, you're likely already on our official donation platform for this event. If not, you can find the link below on the screen. If you're watching with a group of individuals, you may want to log on your phone so you can have the opportunity to donate when the time permits.
And actually, a lot of you have already donated. So we want to thank those of you that have already done so. We have already raised over $62,000 toward our 80,000 goal. Thank you! Some of that's going to be from our whiskey tasting folks that we just met with. So
awesome.
This is so exciting. This event is so important to LPCS and has been for about 15 years, I believe. This really helps us with our core programs, of course, and it enables us to serve even more of our neighbors facing homelessness. So as we begin the paddle race, we want you to know that we are so appreciative of every single gift and that every dollar counts.
Yeah, so tonight we'll have 7 paddle race levels. We'll start at $5,000 and then move to $2,500, $1,000, $500, $250, $100, and $37. $1 for every unit of permanent affordable housing LPCS manages. Of course, feel free to make a gift at any amount. No amount is too small.
And no amount is too big.
That's true, Mary. Before we get started, our technology is pretty amazing, but it isn't perfect. So we've got a bit of a lag. If you don't hear us call your name right away, that's why. So get those paddles ready, get your phones ready, get ready to click. It's time to raise the paddles. Naressa, can you kick us off?
Yes, I can. As Andy mentioned, we're going to start with $5,000. $5,000 support 1 year of staffing costs for our weekly community engagement program, which serves hundreds of street-based individuals. It allows them to receive a hot meal from our volunteers at St. Paul's, as well as to shower, do laundry, and receive any case management services that they should need.
Such an amazing program.
It's an amazing program, and I see we actually got our first $5,000 gift! Gregory Globalist, he has been such a long-term supporter of LPCS, I think since almost the beginning. We are so grateful. Thank you so much, Greg.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I think we should also note that St. Paul's was one of our founding churches in the very beginning, 35 years ago. Isn't that correct?
Yeah. St. Paul's is just such a steadfast supporter of LPCS and our mission.
We are so grateful.
Do we have any other paddle races at the $5,000 level?
Want to give
Of
people...
course, you can enter. If you want to give $5,000 later in the program, by all means, feel free to do so.
We'll keep track of it, but we're going to keep moving on. So our next paddle race amount is $2,500. $2,500 supports 1 month of food at both of our interim housing facilities. So as you know, many of you actually support our meal program, and we are so grateful, but you can't do every single breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so $2,500 will ensure that all of our guests are taken care of for a full month's time. And we just got our first gift. Kathy and Paul Burkhoff, thank you. Paul is one of our board members. love you guys. Thank you so much. We're so grateful. And we're gonna keep looking to see if we get an additional $2,500. Again, this supports our meals. Oh, we have another one. Peter Custer.
Yeah.
Peter, we just saw you on the whiskey tasting, so thank you so much.
Peter is a former associate board member and a member of our Taste the Fall committee. So Peter's been a long-time supporter of
Okay,
Taste the Fall.
so he certainly gets the cause. Oh, and another one. We have another $2,500 gift from Stacy Turner. Stacy and John. Stacy is one of our board members. Thank you so much, Stacy. All right, do we have any additional? Actually, we're already at $75,000. This is
So close to the goal. So
unbelievable.
close.
This
Thank
is
you so
incredible.
much for your support.
Thank you so much, everybody. All right.
Our next battle raise amount is at the $1,000 level. $1,000 supports 1 month of our Green Team programs at both the Sedgwick and the Fullerton locations. Now, the Green Team program is one of our programs that I think is one of the more innovative programs.
I would absolutely agree with that.
The Green Team is a group of guests that go out twice a week to beautify the neighborhoods surrounding our facilities, to ensure that our neighbors know the positive impact our guests are having on the community. Guests learn work skills and they gain valuable job experience that helps them prepare them for other jobs.
And we have a gift from Michelle Backus and Mark Van Allen. Thank you so much. I believe those are friends of Lexi's, so thank you so much. Lexi's behind the scenes doing some incredible work this evening.
They must.
Oh, Dave and Hillary. Wow, thank you so much. Dave and Hillary, this is fantastic. Oh my gosh, there's another one. Bob Bergson. Bob was just here yesterday. He's been on our board a couple of times now, so.
And I know Bob loves clean streets, so a passion with this.
Yeah. Oh, and Dorn and Steve Eastwood. Thank you, Dorn and Steve. Dorn is actually, she's the treasurer of our board, correct?
Mary,
What?
I think something very special has just happened.
Something?
Something very special has happened.
We just reached our goal of $80,000.
That is awesome.
Thank you so much.
But that doesn't mean we're gonna stop.
We're not going to miss go. Tom, Alex, thank you so much. Tom Laser and Alex Madrala, thank you so much for your $1,000 donation.
This is, oh my gosh, Michael Brody and Elizabeth Esther. Oh my
Thank
goodness.
you.
You guys, thank you. This
guys.
is unbelievable. And actually, there's a couple others that we had a lot of people make $1,000 gifts actually ahead of the event. And so we just want to give a shout out to Roger Stetson, Jane Bachman, and Jim Lobianco, because these are all extremely, oh, Nurse Mary!
Nurse Mary!
I see Nurse Mary on the screen
Thank
also.
you.
We can't totally see what's on the screen right now because we've got a little AV thing. At Properties just made $1,000 gift.
Our presenting
Great.
sponsor.
Yes, Emily Sachs Wong is our presenting sponsor with At Properties, and so to get another gift from them is just unbelievable. So thank you.
Thank you so much. This is, I'm floored.
Yes.
I'm floored.
And
You know?
we're floored and so grateful. So let's move on to our $500 gift.
Our next battle raise amount is $500. $500 supports our Moving Up funds, which helps support guests as they move and transition into permanent housing.
And I see we just got a very funny gift from Justin Beatty at $751. Who, yes. Thank you, Justin. Thank you so much for that very funny and generous gift.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
There's a play on words. If you want to see it, go ahead to the timeline on the one cause. So yeah, the Moving On Up Fund, I think you've heard us talk about this many times in the past. It is something very near and dear to our hearts. And actually, I believe that we've got a couple other gifts rolling in for $500, and I know that we had some, again, more of these. I want to give a shout out to,
The
Jim.
Jabrexes.
Yay!
Jim
Thank
and
you
Mark, thank you
guys
so much.
so very much for this. And we actually had a couple $500 gifts before the event that I want to acknowledge as well. And that's from Megan Nakamoto and Beth Malloy, who made early $500 gifts.
I have to say, Mary, these are some of the best checks that I get to sign.
I'm
You
sure.
should see the looks on people's faces when they get their Moving On Up funds, they're getting that security deposit, the furniture, they've got the keys. This is, thank you all for being a part of this. These are some of the happiest moments that happen here at LPCS. Jennifer Gray.
Thank you, Jennifer! Another one of our board members. Thank you so much. And I believe that Gretchen Vanetta and Jeff Doan made a gift at this amount also. So
thank you, Gretchen.
Thank you, Gretchen. You were in the whiskey as well. So, and just to let you guys know that we're already over $85,000 here. So
wow, that's amazing.
This is unbelievable. So I'm going to move on to the next amount. Our next amount is $250, but we actually would like to challenge that to $257. We're going to tell you why. That's the exact number of days that have passed since the first case of COVID was reported in the United States. And as Andy mentioned earlier, in that whole 6-month period, we have not had one guest here at LPCS test positive.
That's amazing.
So grateful. So we challenge you guys. Oh, and did you want to mention something about ICLP as well?
Yes, our ICLP guests have a lot of underlying health issues. Many of them have multiple ones. And with the help of previous donations during our pandemic, we have been able to keep all 17 of them free from COVID. And they're on public transportation daily, they're in a community daily, handling affairs and appointments. However, they always take their PPE with them.
Amazing.
It's so amazing.
Oh, and we just got a $500 gift from Brett and Beth Haddle. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carstensen.
Thank you.
We're so grateful, you guys. And we also want to give a shout out to the many of you who purchased multiple packages. Many of those gifts added up to $250.
Thank
we want
you.
you to know. We hope you're enjoying those packages at home, and we're so grateful for your gifts. Thank you guys so much.
All right, we're gonna keep moving. We're gonna move to our next paddle raise amount, which is $100. $100 supports a monthly CTA pass for one of our guests. These CTA passes are so critical to the work that we do.
Absolutely.
With a CTA pass, a guest can go to employment, a guest can go to health appointments, and a guest can go check out housing opportunities in the neighborhoods that they'd like to live in. So really, these transit passes open up a whole world for our guests. So if any of you would like to donate at the $100 level, know that you're doing a lot of good.
Oh, and we just got a $500 gift from Ann and Bill Johnson. It's from my parents. Thank you guys
Thank you so much.
And John
Schwartz,
$500. Thank you.
You ask for $100 and the $500.
Okay, that's great.
We take it any way they come.
And
Thank you.
I want to acknowledge every single person who purchased a Party from Home package at the $100 mark as well.
Yeah, and also supported our restaurant partners
Yes.
with that $100 donation. So important.
Thank you guys so very much. Okay. You want to
And
close us out?
finally, our last paddle raise amount is $37. $1 for each affordable housing unit that we manage, provide permanent, independent housing individuals coming out of our shelters. This is near and dear to me because I directly work with them, and the looks on their faces when they receive even the donated items like the toiletries or the towels or the linen, they're always so grateful and always keep us at the top of their list of thank yous. So we would like to thank you guys for all of the donations
And we
that
just
goes to that cause.
And we just saw a gift from Emma Jones, who used to work with us at LPCS. Thank you, Emma! That's so awesome. And actually, you guys, we just want to give you an update. We're at $88,000.
That was awesome.
Chugging towards 90,000.
Unbelievable. Oh, another former associate board member, Danny Hart. Thank you, Danny, for everything. You guys, actually, there's lots of gifts coming in right now.
So great.
And it's going to take us a minute to count all this up. So while we do that, we want you to hear a word from our party captains, but we'll be back in a few minutes, and we're going to announce the winner of the raffle. So stay tuned.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Danny DeHun. I've been a volunteer at LPCS the last 5 years. I've been on the associate board the last 4 years, and most recently I've taken on the role as chair to the associate board. I think that the meal volunteer program at LPCS is truly important, whether it's cooking dinners for guests or packing lunches. I think it's truly important to foster a meaningful connection between both the guests and the volunteers at LPCS. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carol Deely. I've been involved with LPCS since 2003. My family and I truly enjoy our time, especially preparing meals at LPCS, breakfasts, dinners, holidays. It's become a tradition for our family and a way for us to build community with those less fortunate right here in our own neighborhood. We thank LPCS for giving us this opportunity, and we highly encourage others to support this very vital volunteer effort of providing meals at LPCS.
Hi everybody, I'm George Coleman. I've been a meal volunteer at LPCS for over 33 years. It's one of my favorite experiences. It satisfies the needs that are basic to all of us. The first of them, of course, is hunger, and the second is a need for companionship. If you're homeless, there's a good chance you have a shortage of both. The model has worked terrifically at LPCS all these years, and with your help tonight, we'll be able to keep it working well into the future. Thanks.
Hi there, my name is Justin Beatty and I am an LPCS volunteer. I was introduced to the organization by my wife, Mary Johnson, and I think it's a really cool organization. The things we get to do is a really creative way to help a population in need. So thanks to everybody who's given back and who will continue to give back. Have a great day.
Hi, my name is Gretchen Van Natta, and I've been a longtime supporter of LPCS since 1985 and had the privilege of serving on the board as well for 6 years. I just want to extend a heartfelt thank you to the amazing staff team that makes the magic happen at LPCS and helps our guests and our community come together for good. Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much. The donations just keep rolling in. It's like, we thought we would be totally up, but they just keep rolling in.
Yes.
It looks like we're inching towards that $90,000 number. Right now we're at $89,262. Mary and I are going to give away the tasting raffle.
Which again,
but feel free to keep donating. Mary, $89,000. That's not only over our goal. That is a record for Taste of Fall.
Oh my goodness!
How amazing is that? Thank you all for helping us to set another record. Before we draw the Taste of Fall or the Ultimate Tasting raffle winner, I want to remind everybody, come back, volunteer on site. We're so excited to see you. It is so inspiring to our guests when we're able to welcome people back into the facilities and have that spirit of community again.
Yes.
All right, so you ready to draw?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, Andy, you know what? I'm feeling like we need to take this celebration to another level.
What?
What do you think?
Oh my gosh! All right.
Okay.
All right. The winner of the Ultimate Tasting Raffle is Dahlia Fritz.
Congratulations,
Dahlia!
Dahlia's going to get over $1,000 in gift cards to some of our favorite Chicago restaurants and eateries. You guys, One Cause is going to remain open for maybe a couple more days. Don't hesitate to make some more donations, but we're blown away by your support.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We're really so grateful.
Good night. Thank